mentioned her playing well because she's been staying out of foul trouble. She's averaging 16 points a game in the last 5 because she's out there on the floor.
George just checks in and right away makes an impact. Jennifer George averaging 12.5 a game, 9th best in the conference, 2nd in rebounds. And she started most of this year, but has been coming off the bench lately, and it's been a nice improvement, some pop off the bench, if you will.
She is a punch in the face off the bench, to say the least.
Tiffany Clark, right place, right time, picks up the basket. Florida quickly back the other way. Jump shot from Lanita Bartley is perfect.
And that's the way Bartley has been playing. Look at her numbers. The last 5 games, she's shooting 59% from 3, 61% from the field, well above her average. And this is the time of the year where you keep your eyes on the seniors because they know their time is running out. If they want to make an impact, it's now.
George with the block shot against Katie Schran. It'll be Florida basketball.
Jones gets the ball in good post entry pass and just a nice turn left hand. George is so solid. She's very strong. You take a look at what you have coming off the bench for the Florida Gators.
It's our Wendy's first. Jennifer George. How about all those double-doubles for her? 6th best total in the conference. 17 double-doubles in her career, 13 this season alone.
Coach Butler calls her the reluctant hero. Says she hasn't really embraced the fact that she is such a great player at this point, but she has given them a power punch off the bench.
That'll take us to our first time out of the night. Vanderbilt up by 2, 15:56 to go in the opening frame. Jasmine, she is 14th in the conference in scoring, but leads the league in assists with 145. Averaging almost 12 points a game.
And she has not played a minute less than 40 in the last 6 games.
Gators even it up 8-8. And right back, the Commodores answer the bell. Back and forth we go. And the 3. Dee Madu steps back and knocks down the 3.
And that's an interesting shot from Madu. That is her 5th 3-pointer on the season. Not really her game, but if she's feeling it, I'm sure Coach Butler will take it.
Coming off 2 points, 4 assists against South Carolina, so already having a much better offensive game than she did last Sunday. And a whistle underneath. Let's see if Madu picks up that foul. It will go against Dee. That'll be her first for the 6'1" redshirt senior out of Antioch, Tennessee. She grew up just about 10 minutes from here in Nashville.
That may be our answer as to why she started out so hot. She knows she has family and friends in the stands watching.
Tiffany Clark to the free throw line. Tiffany on the year, just 56% at the line, and that's not a good number for somebody that gets to the line as much as she does. 121 free throw attempts on the year. By far and away the top number on this team.
Well, she's very strong, and she plays her best basketball in the SEC. Coach Balkin says she likes the athletic matchup, and the heat of the competition in league play is what fuels her.
Here's Bartley. Over to Madu, just swinging around the perimeter. Lena Allen checks into the game, and a foul against the Gators. That'll go against the aforementioned Allen. That'll be her first. That'll be the 3rd team.
Allen looking to be aggressive, which is good because she has played well coming off of back-to-back 14-point performances. And she is one of those players off the bench for the Gators who give them some more power. I mean, they've got tremendous bench scoring.
Lister misses the 3. Bartley back the other way in a hurry. Gators go inside to George. Put back is good. She will step to the free throw line. That foul on Coleman. That'll be her first, team second.
And what a fun matchup to watch between George and Clark. 2 power players down low. That's just a good move, and she did. It was tipped, and she just got the tip and put it back in. She was quicker to the basketball.
She misses the free throw, so the Gators get another chance at it. Here's George. And she's fouled again in the paint.
And if that is Clark, that is trouble for Vanderbilt. And Melanie Balcom asking for a travel. She may be right on that. I thought George shuffled her feet.
She got kind of twisted up in the paint. Didn't have anywhere to go with it. Vanderbilt kind of bailed her out, so she'll step to the free throw line. George, 53% foul shooter. And George gets 1 out of 2. It'll belong to Vanderbilt.
And that is the one area where the Florida Gators have struggled, and that is from the free throw line. When you look at the number of close losses they've had, 8 out of 9 games by 6 points or less, that's when free throws really start to count.
And the Gators will have another chance. This could be a 6-point possession here, or make that a 7-point possession if they're able to knock one down. George inside, fouled again. We'll go back to the free throw line.
Just not enough communication right now on the back line defensively for Vanderbilt. Brown got stuck in position there, but Clark's got to hang out and make sure she's got someone.
Second foul on Coleman. And George gives Florida a 3-point advantage. Jones checks into the game. Bartley takes a seat for a moment, and even 14 minutes to go here in the opening half. And fouls beginning to mount.
And a lot of it has to do with George and how active she is on the interior. She had been struggling up until their last game against South Carolina, where she scored 17 points. She was 7 for 11. I mean, that is efficiency. And this is coming from a player that last year only averaged 7 points a game. So she has really stepped it up in her junior season.
Claire Watkins checks in, the redshirt freshman out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Has not played in the last 5 games, but due to some foul trouble on Coleman, Melanie Balcom going with the substitution.
And that was only 1 foul on Clark, so it's 2 on Coleman, which is a good sign for Vanderbilt.
Here is Clark, guarded by George. Now gets it to Alon Brown. Brown. Little shoulder right into Jones, and she knocks it in off the window. Her first basket. Cross-court pass to Allen. She'll fire. That won't go down. Clark the rebound. Here comes Lister back the other way. Lister is bumped by Allen.
5'4". Lister is tough to keep up with. Very quick in the open court. Brown just seizes the opportunity. Nice move, kiss off the glass. And Vanderbilt can score it from every position. Brown started some early in the season, now comes off the bench.
Andrea Valero Aragones checks in, the freshman from Barcelona, Spain. Getting some work. Here's Clark, posts up in the paint. Couldn't get it to go. Rebound to Didi Madu, who hit her 5th career 3-pointer a little while ago. How about another 3? She has 6 career 3-pointers, and they've all come this season.
The magic happens in your senior year. You know that just as well as I do, Dave. You start doing things you didn't even know you could do.
Once again, coming back home, so to speak, out of Antioch, Tennessee, as Vanderbilt goes strong to the basket. Christina Fogarty will step to the free throw line.
And with that 2 points, 12 of Vandy's 16 points are in the paint. Fogarty showing that she's not just a 3-point shooter. You called it. Madu said, look, we're close to home. I've got friends and family in the stands. Give me the rock.
Somebody that she grew up with called her out on her outside game this week, and so she's trying to prove a point.
Folks at home will do it.
2 fouls, though, on Didi, so she will sit for, we'll see if it's the rest of this half or not. It is a 19-17 Florida lead. 12.5 to go for opening half.
Vanderbilt in that zone, trying to clog the interior.
And Andrea Valero Aragones knocks down the three. That's just her 8th three-pointer of the year.
If they continue to do that, I don't know how long Vandy will stay in that zone. They were more worried about dribble penetration with the Gators, but now they've hit some outside shots.
Fogarty, guarded by Jones, dribbled right into a double team, and Florida came away with the basketball for a moment. Pull-up jumper from Schran won't go. Here's Bartley back the other way. Valero Aragones can't get that one to go, and Lister pushing the tempo. Jasmine bumped right at the SEC logo, and they're going to say offensive foul against Jasmine. That'll be her first. And the 15th foul. Timeout on the floor. 22-17. Gators out in front.
The defender's getting in position, or you've got to look to pass. Stop, gather yourself, and look to make a pass out, but you can't run over the defender.
Brittany Shine checks in for Florida. She wears 23 and immediately gets it inside to Jennifer George, who misses. Clark fouled on the way up. Free throws for her. Both teams shooting pretty well. Florida at 50%. Vanderbilt at 47%.
Melanie Balcom is famous for having high IQ basketball teams. Look at Lister, the way she gets the angle on that pass. That's a one-handed left-hand pass with spin on it, but then also the deep position by Clark. She gets so far inside. There's nothing you can do with her right there around the basket.
Clark misses the front end of the free throw.
I'll tell you what's impressive about Clark. You tell me if you've ever been able to do this, okay? She can squat 300 pounds.
No.
Bench 170. Clean and sweep 205. But wait, she can do 3 chin-ups with 75 pounds on her back.
Psst.
Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave.
Come on. You want me to get into numbers? I mean, come on, seriously.
I know I don't want to get into numbers.
Yeah.
Mine are nowhere close to that. You can shave 3/4 of that off. You might get close to what I can do. She's a strong young woman.
Well, sure, if you work out all the time. Yeah, sure. If you work out like that, you can lift those kind of things. Sure.
Yeah. I hear you.
That is impressive. That is some impressive numbers. Holzer comes away with the basketball off to Lister. Back the other way. Come the Commodores.
Mark working inside for position. She gets so low. That stance is important in post play.
Now Clark guarded by Stewart. Fogarty trying to find some room to work. Takes it inside. Stewart made Fogarty readjust the shot. Back come the Gators in a hurry. Bond's a little bit out of control. No whistle. Off to Fogarty. A little sloppy here, Memorial. Holzer setting up. Little up under move works. Holzer's got 6.
And she's really getting her bearings. You know, she redshirted her freshman year, was dealing with an injury with her foot and ankle, and then last year was having some back spasms, and she's finally healthy. McDonald's All-American coming out of high school.
Nice job by Jatera Bonds, the sophomore out of Gainesville, averaging almost 9 a game. High off the window.
And they needed that. Florida did look very fluid in their offense. We're a couple of possessions down.
Fogarty catch and shoot way off the mark. Holzer there for the putback, and she's fouled by a couple of Gators. Let's see who will it be? Stewart. It will be Stephanie Holzer. 3 out of 4 from the floor. 6 points, 3 boards. But Vandy, her club, trails by 4%. Foul shooter on the year. Coming off 12 points, but only 2 rebounds against Georgia. It'll belong to the Commodores.
And that's a difficult pass to make, especially under duress. Shine needed to just make the pass to the next available person. Now Florida showing their zone look here as well. Concerned about Hoser and Clark. They've been the biggest factor so far in this game.
Fogey's shot blocked. It'll still belong to the Commodores. You can tell Fogey getting a little frustrated. Stewart still in the game with 2 fouls.
And this is very reminiscent of the game last year here in Nashville. Slow in the first half offensively is an understatement. Both teams combined for 47 points in the first half, but then in the second half, guess how many points they had combined? 96.
That's crazy. Well, the way we started here today, I thought we were going to have that kind of production, but it's kind of waned here in the last 5 minutes. Vandy will inbound it after the contact was replaced. Shot clock down to 2, and Lister knocks down the first 3 of the game for the Commodores. They're now 1 out of 4.
Knowing how important a three-point shot is to Vandy. Take a deep breath now.
Tough shot by Bartley, knocked out of bounds.
Lister gets the ball in, and then off the play just finds the baseline, and when she touches the rock, she's ready to shoot. Her and Fogey, you have got to get out there because they will let it fly.
Stewart, by the way, blocked shot a little while ago. Now 25 straight games with a blocked shot for Zania. Zania, the 6'4" senior from England, hits the deck. Bartley cuts to the basket, couldn't finish off the deal. Boy, nifty ball handling from Lister, but Schramm can't finish that play. Air ball, but there's George. Fortunate break for Florida. And Melanie Balkum not too pleased with the loose ball going the way of the Gators. Calls a quick timeout with 5:16 to go here in the opening half.
Her team just not very alert, in particular on the rebound there. You have got to watch the basketball, know the flight of the ball, where it's going. And that's always a concern for Coach Balkum, is making sure they are being a physical rebounding team. And that time they just got caught standing around watching.
Melanie telling me before the game today, at times last Sunday against Georgia, he felt like her team just forgot how to play the game, got very frustrated. Says they can't allow that to happen tonight against this good Florida team, and certainly making some substantial strides with Amanda Butler this year leading the way.
Well, after the big win against Tennessee for Vanderbilt, they scored 93 points in that game. Coach Balkum said they were so focused on offense, and thought that carried over, as you mentioned, a bit to that game against Georgia. I also think Georgia, with their taller guards, can often be an issue. We talked about Lister, 5'4", Fogey not very tall either. I think that's a difficult matchup.
Lister already with 1 3, can't find the second one just yet. Bartley back the other way. All the way to the basket. Lanita Bartley with the layup, the senior out of Jacksonville, Florida, transferred in from Santa Fe Community College, gives the Gators a 5-point lead.
She is a senior, but only with 2 years under her belt in this system, and she has made the most of it.
Brown, entry pass to Holzer. She stops and fires from the corner. That's 8 points for Stephanie Holzer, the sophomore from Newtown Square, Pennsylvania.
When she has gotten the ball low, we've seen her on the baseline score it, going middle on a drop step. I mean, we've seen a variety of moves from her.
Bartley has to back it out. Shot clock at 4. Rebound right to Clark.
And that's what they wanted, to switch on the pick and roll. Bartley had Holzer on her, just couldn't score.
Nice cut. Holzer hits Clark for the basket. 1 point, Florida lead. How about this upset? Alabama knocks off Kentucky 77-75. That's 2 straight losses for the Wildcats now. They got pounded by Tennessee on Monday night. So 2 losses this week. They got 3 in a row, but 2 this week. Tennessee and now Alabama.
And I'm sure Matthew Mitchell is about to pull his hair out. We know how intense he is. And wow, that is crazy score there, Dave.
They were down, what, 22, 24, something like that in the first half.
And Wendell Hudson with a reason to celebrate. They've had a tough year with injuries and all. That is just a bright spot.
Good win for the Crimson Tide. Timeout on the floor. 2:57 to go here in the first half.
At Wendy.
48 away from intermission, and coming up at the half, we will spin around the league, get you caught up with what's been going on with some SEC news and notes, and taking a look at our first half highlights and stats. 1 point Florida lead. Vanderbilt shooting 48%. Gators have dipped down to 43%.
We talked about Vanderbilt refocusing on defense, trying to get in a stance.
Alon Brown with a follow and the basket. And a near steal by Brown. And the Commodores have the 1 point lead.
Good shot there by Lister with Brown. And that is the point that I wanted to make about Vanderbilt's defense. It's not just about getting down in the stands, but also rebounding the ball is how you finish the possession, and that's going to be important against Florida down the stretch. They didn't get it right after that Arkansas game. They went on to lose, but they got better defensively.
Florida takes a timeout. Shot clock's at 14 seconds and a 1 point Vanderbilt lead. It was funny, Amanda Butler was screaming at the top of her lungs trying to get a timeout. Dee Cantor was having a hard time hearing her. Finally, Amanda able to get the attention of our referee.
Well, obviously the way that the courts are situated here, the benches on the end line, makes a little bit different of a setup. Especially because the officials are taught to occupy certain positions on the court for a normal arena. This has its challenges.
Memorial Gymnasium, home to the Commodores, oldest building in the league. And a tie-up arrow favors the Commodores. So with a minute to go here, they'll have the basketball up 1. Florida would do themselves a favor if they could get a halftime lead here. They are 14-1 on the year when they lead at the break, but 1-7 on the season when they trail. They'll have the basketball here. 37 seconds to go. There's about 9 seconds separating the game clock and the shot clock.
Mismatch inside. They got it fixed, but Fogey was on George.
Knocked out of bounds. It'll go to Vanderbilt. Shot clock turned off.
And this will be a huge boost for Florida if they can get a stop right here against the potent Vanderbilt offense going into the locker room.
7 seconds, 6 seconds. Here's Fogey, the SEC's leading scorer, trying to find some room. Gets it to Lister. That won't go. Holzer out.